Today we are here in the AWS Community Day with Hector Zelaya, part of WebRTC.Ventures and one of the participants in the sessions of Voice AI, and we're gonna ask a couple of questions to him.
Hello.
Hector, my first question would be, what are the main components involved in building a Voice AI application from scratch?
Okay, so there are at least three main components when you are trying to build a Voice AI application from scratch. First, you have, the actual application that you have to build. That is actual code, you need a front end, you need a back end, depending on what will be your interface, if it's gonna integrate with some sort of telephony system, or if it's gonna be a web application, or maybe a mobile application. So that's the first component. The other component is the AI models that you would like to use. And in this case, depending on the architecture that you're looking for, you will want to use a speech-to-text model, large language model, or large multimodal model, or you will also need a text-to-speech model. And you will also gonna need the actual infrastructure where you're gonna run both the application and or the models.
Hector, my follow-up question would be, when it comes to Voice AI, how should companies think about data privacy and protecting user conversations?
That's an excellent question, because if you're a company that is under strict regulations or that has some special needs in terms of how to protect the data, ideally you will want to host your own models, your own application, everything either on-premise or in your private cloud. However, that's only advisable if you have the budget and if you have the expertise to do it, because it's not trivial to do these kind of things. So the next best thing that you can do is to enter into an agreement with a great company, for instance, AWS, so that you can be sure that the data will be well secured and it will be also available when you want to use it.
Thanks, Hector. Now, my next question is, what are the key considerations when hosting your own Voice AI infrastructure instead of using a managed solution?
Well, one of the first things that you want to consider is latency. So you want to be close to your users. And depending on where that is, you might need to host multiple servers and you will want to cover multiple regions. And the other key consideration is, for instance, if you want to run your own AI models, is if you have the power to do it, because running this kind of software isn't cheap and isn't easy. There's a lot of power that these models needs to have in order to run smoothly.
And then my next question for you is, why is the cloud such an important part of running Voice AI application at scale?
That's another excellent question. Well, now you have the ability to run models on your device or even on your browser. So why would you need to run models remotely? And that's because for Voice AI, you'll want to have state-of-the-art models. That is, you want the best of the best. And for that, you need a lot of power. So it's not something simple to do locally. So that's why the best thing right now is to use the cloud to run such kind of models.
Then, Hector, thank you so much. This is my last question. Since the cloud is the best option, what's the most effective and secure way to transport Voice AI between the user and the cloud?
So there are two main ways in which you can transport such data. You can use WebSockets and you can use WebRTC. Both work perfectly, but it will depend on the context where you are exchanging that information. For instance, WebSockets, since it works on top of TCP, that guarantees deliverability and also guarantees reliability, and that works well until you miss the first packet, and then things can get a little bit messy. So WebSockets, it's a great option when you are transporting data from server to server, assuming that the servers are in a network with optimal connectivity. Now, if you are exchanging data between user devices and the cloud, then the best option is WebRTC, since it already includes some fault tolerant mechanism, and also have some nice features such as echo cancellation, noise reduction, and therefore since it also provides the ability to trespass NAT restriction, that makes it a great alternative for connection between user devices and the cloud.
If you're interested in implementing voice AI into your application, call on the experts at WebRTC.Ventures.